Just plug that.
No, it's the Tesla line, whatever thing.
That was
Stuff
the
there, I don't know how that.
all right. Jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hare Punjabi Hare Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivale Hari Vallabha Girivale Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivale Hari Jana Vallabha Girivale Hari Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Nana Brajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Nana Brajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hare Madhava Punjabi Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hare Radha Madhava Punjabi Hare Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivale Hari Jana Vallabha Girivale Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivale Hari Vallabha Girivale Hari Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Nana Brajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Nana Brajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hare Madhava Punjabi Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihade Madhava Kunja Bihade Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pakavacharya Satarya Satashishi Mahadi's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gauda Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sakho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gauda Bhaktivedanta Ki this confounder Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Ganga Mai Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakta Devi Ki Shishi Radha Golokananda Ki Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So reading from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila chapter 19, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. So we're going to start on text 177 and just kind of go back a couple of texts just to give. And we left off at 180, but we're going to go back a couple just to give continuity. Some overlapping. So by regularly rendering devotional service, one gradually becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When that attachment is intensified, it becomes the love of Godhead. The basic aspects of prema, when gradually increasing in different states of affection, abhorrence, love, attachment, further attachment, ecstasy, and great ecstasy. These are continuing stages of devotional service. After you achieve prema, these are what they call. Huh? I know. I'm not. Those were already read last week. I'm just going back a few texts before. 180 is where we stopped. Okay, so I'm just going back to kind of give aspect where we're help out. Okay, so this these affection, sneha, mahana, pranaya, raga, anuraga, bhava, and mahabhava. These are continuing stages. So you get on a roller coaster of emotional love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't always necessarily go in that order. Sometimes they mix. Mahabhava is the Radharani and the principal gopis have that ecstasy. 5 years. Great ecstasy, that Mahabhava. Okay, so 179. The gradual development of prema may be compared to different states of sugar. First, there's the seed of the sugar cane, then sugar cane, then the juice extracted from the cane. When this juice is boiled, it forms a liquid molasses, then solid molasses, then sugar, candy, rock candy, and finally lozenges. So the two of those continuous stages of ecstasy are, the analogy also is used in that way. So now 180, this is where we left off. So we know what we're talking about now here. All these stages combined are called Sthai Bhava, or continuous love of Godhead in devotional service. In addition to these stages, there are Vaibhava and Anubhava. Purport. Attachment for Krishna never wanes. It increases more and more as one attains different stages. All the stages together are called Sthai Bhava, or continuous existence of ecstasy. The 9 forms of devotional service are Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padma Sevanam, Archana Vandanam, Dasha Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. This is from 7th Canto, Chapter 5, Text 23.
That's you.
That's my first sneeze this morning. It's kind of, which is weird. I've been up since 2 o'clock. I'm surprised. Sorry, excuse me. When continuous love of Godhead is mixed with the processes of devotional service, it is called Vaibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika, and Vibhacharya. The devotee thus enjoys a variety of transcendental bliss and is Amrita Prabhava. Bhashya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that Anubhava can be divided into 13 categories. 1, dancing. 2, rolling on the ground. 3, singing. 4, yelling. 5, jumping. 6, making loud noises. 7, yawning. 8, heavy breathing. 9, not caring for public opinion. 10, discharge of saliva. 11, roaring laughter. 12, unsteadiness. And 13, hiccuping. These are symptoms of Anubhava. Thus, the transcendental mellows are experienced in different stages. Similarly, there are many other forms of expression that have been analytically studied by the Goswamis. And the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Rupa Goswami gives each and every symptom a particular name. Omagara Timarandusya, Ganajana Shilakaya. Taisma Sri Gurave Namaha. So, the all right, let me go on. 181. When the higher standard of ecstatic love is mixed with symptoms of sattvika and vibhacharya, the devotee relishes the transcendental bliss of loving Krishna and a variety of nectarian taste. These tastes are like a combination of yogurt, sugar, candy, ghee, clarified butter, black pepper, and chamfer. They are as palatable as sweet nectar. You know, the Lord's associates also in Gaur Leela, you see them exhibiting these elevated, Haridas Thakur was often seen when he was doing his japa. When there was a kirtan going on, congregational chanting, then he would, tears would flow from his eyes, and he would roll on the ground. And a number of Lord Chaitanya's personal associates experienced these ecstatic symptoms. Text 181. 182. These tastes are like a combination of yogurt, sugar, candy, ghee, clarified. I've just 184, 183, and 184. According to the devotee, attachment falls within 5 categories of Sancharas, Dasharati, Sakyarati, Vatsalyarati, and Madhuryarati. These 5 categories arise from devotees' different attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental mellows derived from devotional service are also of 5 varieties. Purport. Santyarati, it's described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.16 through 18 as follows. Manase nirvikal kalpatvam sama ityabi diyate. When one is completely free from all doubts of material attachments, he attains the neutral position called Santya. Sorry. Vihaya visa yomukyam nirjananda smriti yata atmana hatyate so trasvabhava sama ityaso prayasama prahananam mahata gandha virjita param atmat taya krishne jata santi ratir mata. The santi rati realization of Krishna is in the neutral stage between the conception of impersonal and personalism. This means that one is not very strongly attached to the personal feature of the Lord. An appreciation to the greatness of the Lord is called Santi Rati. This is attachment not to the personal feature, but the impersonal feature. Generally, one in this stage is attached to the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvara Bhuta Bhutani Hridese Arjuna Tishtari Ramyam Sarva Bhutani Yantaran Rudani Mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. O Arjuna is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. Bhagavad Gita 18.61. On the strength of this statement from the Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that in Santa Ras, a devotee sees the Lord's representation everywhere. Dasharati is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.27. Thus, Svasmad bhavati emuraste nirgraya harimatahi aradyat tvai mikate samnat rati pritir itrita tarakshati pridanyata priti sam harani yasao. When the Supreme Lord in his localized aspect is appreciated and a great devotee understands his subordinate position, not only does he surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but due to his subordinate position, he wishes to render some service and thus become favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee in Santarati is not very much willing to render service to the Lord, but a devotee in Dasharati voluntarily wants to render. A devotee in Santirati is not very much willing to render service to the Lord, but a devotee in Dasharati voluntarily wants to render service. Due to this attitude, the devotee in Dasharati realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead more fully than a devotee in Santarati. He considers the Lord to be a worshipful object, and this means that his attachment for the Lord increases. Thus, Dasharati, characterized as Bhakti, Paresh Sanu Bhavo, Viraktir Anyatracha, Srimad Bhagavatam 11th Canto, Chapter 2, Text 42. In other words, on the Dasharati platform, a devotee is attached to rendering service to the Lord. He is detached from material activities. Santarati is neither material nor spiritual. But Dasharati is actually on the spiritual platform. There is no attachment for material things on the spiritual platform. Viraktir ayatracha. A devotee in Dasharati has no attachment for anything but Krishna's service. So this is Sankhya is this neutral position, neither material nor spiritual, attached. This is our nature. We're all started. This is the soul. The spirit soul is by nature Santarati. This is Santyarash. And we're in the neutral position, or sometimes described as Tatashta Shakti. That's the energy of the Lord. That we can exist as a spirit soul in the material world or in the spiritual world. So our existence, when we emanated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we're in Satyarash. Okay. Sakyarati is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.30 as follows. Yesu yastulya mukandasya te sakya satam mata samyad vishramba rupayisam rati sakyam iho yache. According to the opinion of advanced devotees and learned scholars, a devotee in Sakyarati feels equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is a relationship of friendship. Due to having a friendly relationship with the Supreme Lord, not only is one freed from the material attachment, but one believes in equal dealings with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Sakyarati. The Sakyarati devotee is so advanced that he treats the Lord on an equal level and even exchanges joking words with him. Although one is never equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Sakyarati devotee feels equal to the Lord, and he does not feel guilty because of this. Usually, it's an offense to consider oneself equal with the Lord. The Mayavadis, for example, consider themselves equal to the Lord, but such feelings entail bereavement because they are not material. Sakyarati, however, is a feeling experienced in the mind by a pure devotee, and he is eternally related with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that feeling. Vatsalyarati is described as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Gauravo ye hare rashate pujaite vrishruta anuragamaya samratir vatsalam utyache idam lana vayasis chibuk sparsananti krit. When a living entity is situated on the platform of Vatsalyarati, he thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his childhood feature. In this feature, the Lord has to be protected by the devotee. And at this time, the devotee takes the position of being worshipped by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These feelings of parental love are called Vatsalyarati. When the devotee is situated on this platform, he wants to maintain the Lord as his son, and he desires all good fortune for the Lord. He offers blessings to the Lord by touching his feet and head. Madhurya Rati, or attachment and conjugal love, is described as follows. Mito Hare Mrigatyascha Sambhogasyati Karanam Madhurya Rupa Paraya Pri Yatak Yodita Rati Asham Katasha Priru Shepa Priya Vani Smita Daya. Madhura Rati. The conjugal relationship experienced between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the young damsels of Rajamuni continuously exists in 8 kinds of remembrances. This intimate relationship, brought about by conjugal love, produces movements of the eyebrows, glancing sweet words, and exchanges of joking words. Text 148. The chief transcendental mellows experienced with the Supreme Personality of Godhead are 5: Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Purport. Not this one. Sanjit Bhakti Das is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.1.4 through 6 as follows. Bhakshamanir vibhavandai saminam svadayat gata stahi santiratir dirahi santa bhakti rasa smita prayasvak sukta jatitam sukham svad atra yoginam kintvatma saukyam anganam ganam tvaisa mayan sukha tatrapsitsa svarupanu bhavash srariya for hetuta Dasa divan mano jinavat liladir natatra mata. When Santirati, neutral attraction, exists continuously as is mixed with ecstatic emotion, and when the devotee relishes that neutral position, it is called Santa Bhakti Rasa. Santa Bhakti Rasa devotees generally relish the impersonal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead since their taste of transcendental bliss is incomplete. It is called aghana, or not concentrated. A comparison is made between ordinary milk and concentrated milk. When the same devotee goes beyond the impersonal and tastes the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his original form as Satsat Ananda Vigraha, from Bhakti Brahma Samhita, his transcendental blissful body, complete in knowledge and eternity. The taste is called concentrated jnana, transcendental bliss. Sometimes the devotees in Sancharash relish transcendental bliss after meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but this is not comparable to the transcendental bliss relished by the devotees situated in Dasharas, the transcendental mellow, in which one renders service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dasya Ras, or Dasya Bhakti Ras, is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita 3.2.324. This is some of the same, but a different wave. This is the Bhakti Rasamrita, but the second wave. This is the fourth wave. Amrochiter Vaibhava Dai Pritir Asvada Niyata Nita Chaitasi Bhaktanam Priti Bhakti Rasomata Anugrayasya Dasatval Layatvad Apyayam Diviha Vidyate Sambrama Prito Gaurava Prita Iapi. When according to his desires, the living entity develops love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the beginning stage is called Dasya Bhakti Ras. Dasya Bhakti Ras is divided into two categories called Sambrama Dasya, and Gaurava Dasya. In Sambrama Dasya, the devotee renders respectful service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in the more advanced Gaurava Dasya, the devotee feels that he is receiving protection from the Lord. Sakya Bhakti Ras is described as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Staya Bhavo Vibhava Stayi Bhavo Vibhava Sankyam Amuch Chitaiha Nichaschete Satam Pustim Rasa Preya Ur Diryate. According to one's original consciousness, ecstatic emotions may be exhibited by continuously existing in fraternity. When this stage of Krishna consciousness is mature, it is called Prayarasa or Sakya Bhakti Rasa. Vatsalya Bhakti Rasa is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Vibhava yastu vatsalyam stahi pustim upagata esa vatsalya nama tra prokta bhakti raso bhutai. When eternally existing love of Godhead transforms into parental love and is mixed with corresponding emotions, the stage of spiritual existence is described by learned devotees as Vatsalya Bhakti Rasa. Madhurya Bhakti Rasa is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, third wave, chapter 5, text 1, as follows. Mo chitayar vibhava dayiha pustim nitat satam hridi madhur rakyo bhavet bhakti raso sa madhura rati. If, in accordance with one's own natural development in Krishna consciousness, one's attraction leans towards conjugal love within the heart, this is called attachment in conjugal love, or Madhurya Ras. Text 186. Besides these 5 direct mellows, there are 7 indirect mellows known as laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, disaster, and fear. This verse is in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave, chapter 5, text 116. 187. In addition to the 5 direct mellows, there are 7 indirect mellows known as laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, disaster, and fear. That's a repeat. There is a couple of these, I know that reading this, there are some mistakes in the, when they put this thing together on the Bhagavatam. I know I was in my book, I think they corrected in these digital copies, but I have some of the original ones, and some of the purports were duplicated, and some of the. Okay, so text 186 purport, 187 purport. Hasya, Adbhuta, Ivira, Karuna, Raudra, Bhava, and Bibhasa. The 7 indirect mellows are explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 4th wave, chapter 1, text 6. The Hasya Bhakti Rasa, laughing devotion, is explained as follows. Vakshyam manayar vibhava Daihi pustim hasharatir gata hasya bhakti raso nama budher ese nigatyate. When through devotional service, a laughing attachment to Krishna is developed, it is called Hasya Bhakti Rasa by learned scholars. Similarly, Abhuta Rashi is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 4th wave, chapter 2, text 1. Atmo chitayar vibhava yais svadhat sayatvam bhakta chetasi sva vismaya ratir nita buddha bhakti raso bhavet. When one's general attachment is mixed in wonder, it is called Abhuta Bhakti Ras. Vira Bhakti Ras, described as follows, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 4th wave, chapter 3, text 1. Saivot saharati sahi vibhava svad bhakti raso bhavet yudha dana daya dharmasi dharmaisi chaturha vira utyate. When attachment to Krishna mixes with bellows tendency, the charitable the charitable tendency or merciful tendency in the heart of the devotee. Tendency in the heart of the devotee, such devotion is called Vira Bhakta Rasa. Karuna Bhakti Rasa is described as follows. Fourth wave, chapter 4, text 1. Amo chitar vibhav havajadir nila pushpam satam hridi bhavek chokta ratir bhakti raso hi karuna buddhi. When one's devotional attitude and attachment for Krishna is mixed with lamentation, it is called karuna bhakti rasa. Similarly, Rodra Bhakti Rasa is described as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, fourth wave, chapter 5, text 1. Nita kruda rati pustim vibhava dharnito tita ridi bhakta janasyasto rudra bhakti rasa bhavet. When devotion is mixed with anger in the heart of the devotee, the taste is called Rudra Bhakta Ras, Bhakti Ras. Bhayanaka Bhakti Ras is described as follows. Fourth wave, chapter 6, text 1. Vakshamaner vibhavadyayi pushtim bhayaratir kata Bhayanaka bidod bhakti roso dirahir udir yayate. When devotion is mixed with fear, it is called Bhayanaka Bhakti Ras. Vibhasata Bhakti Ras is described as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Pustim nija vibhavyadir jugupsparatir agata asal bhakti raso dirair vibhasakya itir yate. When one's attachment for Krishna develops in an abominable way, and the devotee enjoys it, that is called vibhasta bhakti ras. In conclusion, when a pure devotee is situated in any of the 5 principal mellows, Sankhya, Dasha, Shakti, Vatsalya, or Madhurya, and that mellow is mixed with one or more of the 7 indirect bhakti rasas, Asya, Adbhukta, Vira, Karuna, Rodra, Bhayanaka, or Vibhasta, the indirect mellows become prominent. All right, that's a lot. That's a mouthful. Text 188. Any comments or anything? Anybody? 188. What? Yeah, this is, we get it now, then Rupa Goswami gives it again in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and we got to keep hearing it over and over and over. I know I do completely, and then hear it again. Okay, 188. The 5 direct transcendental mellows of devotional service are permanently situated in the heart of the devotee, whereas the 7 indirect emotions appear suddenly under certain conditions and appear more powerful. Examples of Sankhya Bhaktas are the 9 Yogindras and the 4 Kumaras. Examples of devotees in Dasya Bhakti are innumerable, for such devotees exist everywhere. Of course, the Srimad Bhagavatam is completely full of all these types of bhaktis, different types of devotional actions. We see these examples, all of them, in Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad. Each one of these are exhibited in these different. So examples of Sankhya Bhaktas are of 9 Yogindras and the 4 Kumaras. Examples of devotees in Dasya Bhakti are innumerable, for such devotees exist everywhere. The 9 Yogindras are Kavi, Havi, Antariksa, Prabhuda, Pipalayana, Aryabhota, Dravida, Dramila, Kamasa, and Karabhajana. The four Kumars are Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumar, and Sanatan. The servant devotees in Gokul are Raktaka, Chitraka, Patraka, and so on. In Dwarka, there are servants like Jaruka, and in the Lord's pastimes in the material world, there are servants like Hanuman. In Vrindavan, examples of devotees in fraternity are Sridham, Sudam. In Dwarka, the Lord's friends are Bhima and Arjuna. In Vrindavan, the devotees in parental love are Mother Yasoda and Father Nanda Maharaj. And in Dwarka, the Lord's parents are Vasudeva and Devaki. There are also other superior persons who are devotees in parental love. 191. The chief devotees in conjugal love are the gopis in Vrindavan. The queens in Dwarka are the goddesses of fortune in Vaikuntha. These devotees are innumerable. We just heard this really, really wonderful class by Urmila, where she pointed out that, the difference, one of the differences in their love was the Krishna's in Dwarka, the queens who he married have a sense of possessiveness, but they think they're a little proud with that. Whereas the gopis, even though there might be some possessive, like in the rasa dance, you point out there that each gopi is thinking, "Oh, Krishna's with me." There's some humility there, of still of not being. There's some little bit of mood of maybe not deserving that. It's a really pretty good distinction between the two, because humility is a huge part of when you want to talk about these continuing stages of bhakti. A prerequisite is humility. It's a different type of spiritual humility. We practice humility as part of sadhana. Humility is, you try to have good manners, you try to, be respectful. And then that humility develops as your bhakti develops. And so this is discussed in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita when Narada Muni is given instructions to Gopakumar in the 6th chapter of the second part 2. This utter humility, dhyana, this is like the prerequisite of achieving prema. When we have when our humility has grown to that point, utter humility, then we achieve prema. Because when Krishna gives himself, he gives himself to a worthy person, but that person is never going to abuse that relationship they have and that trust that Krishna bestows in them. This is the ultimate relationship. Because without trust, there's no relationship. Even on the material platform. If there's no trust, there's no relationship. That's the basic foundation in what's called a commitment by individuals. Okay. Why don't we stop right there? That's we're at text 191. It's time for the RT. Huh? Okay. Any comments? Any questions? Were we rushing the people online? I don't know. I got 7:15. Huh? Yeah. This is nectar. Bharat Maharaj is another example. These are in Dasha. These the different devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam. They're all exhibiting these different types of. I got one on the tip of my tongue that Maharaj Ambarish is another one. These pastimes, they represent these different types of dashas. And then we get into, of course, the 10th canto where you have these other mellows that, 2.5 in Vaikuntha and 2.5 in Goloka Vrindavan. Santya, Dasha, and some friendship like the are like the Pandavas, but it's more of respectful, whereas in the Gowherd boys, feel like they're equal. So that's also friendship. And then we call Vatsalya and conjugal. Okay, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Nishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Driya Vriti Manti Vasyan Vipan Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adipurusham
Brajobaru Nagara Gokularam Janakana Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Ayo! Kalia Damona Vidana Kalia Damona Vidana Amalaharinam Mamia Vilasa Amalaharinam Mamia Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bora Vamsi Vadana Suvasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bora Vamsi Vadana Suvasa Rajajana Palana Surakulana Sana Ayo! Rajajana Palana Surakulana Sana Ayo! Nanda Godanara Koala Godanara Koala Haribo Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Haribo Nanda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Munatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya Jamna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nattabara Bhagati Sumati Nandana Brajaparo Nagara Gokularam Jana Kana Amalaharina Mamiya Vilasa Nani Tataskara. Hey, Radha Balaba, Vrindavana Natavara. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Radha Golokananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Jayo Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Sri Vrindavanadham. Nitai Gaur Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Haribo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Premanandi.
Excellent dresser, protector of the inhabitants of Braj, destroyer of the demoniac dynasties, keeper and tender of Nanda's cows, giver of pleasure to cows, land, and spiritual senses, husband of the goddess of fortune, butter thief, and beautiful little cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj, wanderer of the Yamuna riverbanks, thief of the garments of the gopis, enjoyer of the mellows of the rasa dance, very merciful, lover and beloved of Sri Radha, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the only shelter of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. And just a reminder that we're having Harinam in a few hours at 11:30, actually 5 hours, or 4 hours, 4 hours from now, at 11:30, at the Weaver Street Market here in Hillsborough, and it's going to be a nice day. It's going to be warm, but we'll be in the shade. So please come, and we can give the holy name to everyone. And we're happy to see that Anadi is back in action, and hopefully he'll be coming to the Harinam today along with everybody else. Haribo. Chaito Darpanam Marjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis tatrapitani amrita smarane nakala etadrishita vakripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva midrishami hajjanina nuraga trinadapi sunichena tarorapi suhishuna amani namana dena kirtaniya sadahari nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmani ishvare bhavatad bhaktir hoitaki twai vainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau kripayata vabada pankaja stita duli sadrishim vachintaya nayanam galadashu daraya varanam gadgururidaya pulakarnishitam vapukada tavanamagrahane bhavishyati yugayatam namishena chakshusha bravashayatam shunayatam jagat sarvam govindam virahename ashlishyava padamratam banastumam adarshanam marmahata karotuva yatatava vidadatu lambato mat pranatastu sa eva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names there are nested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, void of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I their beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.